everybody, how are you? My name's Arn Friends, and I'm a project manager with the Department of Public Space and Urban Forestry. I'm proud to be the project manager of the Healey Schoolyard renovation. This is an incredibly large and complex project. It's been in the planning for a number of years, and we've had a number of great partners on the project, probably too many to mention. But I think it's important, obviously, to thank the Mayor's Office, the City Council, everybody associated with the Healey School, Friends of Healey, and all the departments within the city who provided support. And I also want to call out, in particular, the Somerville Housing Authority, who has been a terrific partner on this project. This school, the Healey School, directly abuts the Somerville Housing Authority, and this is a project being built in conjunction with the Housing Authority. So if you are bumping into somebody from the Housing Authority in your work, please make a point of thanking them for their support. This is going to be a great project. I'm going to introduce the mayor now and let him say a few words. Thank you very much.
Good morning. Thank you, Warren, and thanks for all for being here. So for those who are watching at home, and those who don't know, we typically like to do this with even bigger crowds, but I'm glad to be here today, all of you, as we are following CDC guidelines. The vaccines are working. I want to thank everyone in the community in here who have helped the city in our response to COVID-19. And for those who've lost someone they love or care about, please accept my deepest sympathies and know our hearts go out to you. This is a project that doesn't come together easy because there are a lot of moving pieces, and I'm reflected upon that. And I want to take a moment to just point that out and thank many people. And this is a project that will have impact, not just the people who want to be active, but communities, residents in our community who've been traditionally underserved, just down adjacent to this parcel in the Somerville Housing Authority. Families who don't get the same access to some of the dynamic open spaces and recreation spaces that many of us do, now will have access to one of the best sites in Greater Boston. This is going to be phenomenal. So no matter what level of activity, whether you're young or old, you think you're a pro athlete like Joe Macaluso or someone else, you'll be able to just come up and enjoy. When I was on this site as an alderman, when we opened this school, and the school is beautiful and we're proud of it, but when I came back here, there's something that struck me, and I just shook my head at myself and said, we missed an opportunity here. We were left with Asphalt Gardens, high fences, all well-intended, very little shade for kids to be out and really enjoy a great neighborhood. So we're going to take a not insignificant step in changing that and have an impact. And I want to thank all of you and so many people. If I don't thank you all now, I apologize, but this doesn't come together because one elected official or mayor or councilor or someone decides to do it. There's an incredible amount of advocacy and activism to pluck a value string about why we need to do things now. An incredible amount of talent in the city and school staff. And then partnerships at every level of local and state government, even sometimes federal funding, but different agencies in the city, like the city and the school department and the housing authority. So first, I want to thank the City Council, and I'll introduce Jesse Klingon in a second, and the school committee for their advocacy. Andre Green is the chairperson of the Somerville School Committee. He represents this ward. He's been a strong advocate, not just for open spaces in his ward and district. Both these elected officials, along with their colleagues, are fast, quick to respond and advocate for resources to creating the most dynamic, accessible to all, equitable, open and recreation spaces in the most densely populated city in New England. So I'll be introducing, just as should I want to thank Chairman Green. The entire City Council, as I mentioned, there isn't an important community project like this that they won't fund or demand that we do better on. We're grateful for that. I remember the days, and Bobby, you served with me in the legislature. I mean, we served together. While you were in the legislative body, Joe Macaluso, we didn't have these funds to do what we had to do. I want to thank the school department, Superintendent Skipper and Jeff Curley, entire team, principal of the school, Dr. Cobbs, the Community Preservation Committee, which, I think Laura Baretsky's here, if not Heather is here, but the taxpayers and the voters of the city for voting to accept and adopt the Community Preservation Act, which we have leveraged along with city funds and other funding to expand or acquire spaces, to expand our open space offerings, again, in the most densely populated city in New England. The PTA for their work here, the Friends of Healey, I see Jake and I believe Andrew might be here, for their incredible advocacy and partnership, so that we had an engaged, robust community process working together, that we touched, we added elements here that gave everybody something they needed to enjoy a good quality of life in this community, but in this neighborhood as well. Somerville Housing Authority has been mentioned. I really want to personally thank, he was a former member of the Board of Aldermen. I worked together with him when he was the clerk of committees for the Board of Aldermen many, many years ago, when it was called the Board of Aldermen in the 90s, but he's the executive director of the Somerville Housing Authority. His team, Kevin Bumpus and Brian Langton, and certainly Bobby and others, have been incredible in tying together some of the, not allowing bureaucracy and agency lines to come in the way. They were fast to come to the table and say, hey, here's how we can make this happen. So Joe Macaluso, I want to give you all a big round of applause at SHA. Appreciate that. Thank you. Our advocates at Groundwork as well. Thank you, Martha. We heard about our contractor, heard great things. Can't wait to have you working on the site soon, and our landscapers. But I want to give a big shout out to Ann Franzen, who's with the Office of Strategic Planning Community Development. He works directly with his direct supervisor, the Director of Public Space and Urban Forestry, PSEF, Ms. Louise Oliveira. They are leading and heading incredible transformation of parks and open space and tree canopy in the city. The likes you won't find anywhere else in this Commonwealth. It's not happening. George Prowakis, the Executive Director of OSPCD. And from our state delegation, I know Rep. Barber is here. Our state delegation, I wish every delegation was like them, fight. Many of these projects come with different funding sources, whether it's Community Preservation Act money, direct borrowing from the city, state grants, open space grants, sometimes federal funding, CDBG, and we put it together to make sure we can deliver the best, leverage the resources we have for the greatest amount of impact. I'm going to stop here because the great party will be in the fall. If you want to get, when we open this, I don't know the date we're going to open, maybe I went ahead, follow one, whatever. When you open it, that component, I mean, if you want to get a good feel of what the community is like, you come to a ribbon cutting on a park. It's a fantastic thing, and I'm excited. I won't be mayor there, but I'll be back for the party. I'm excited just to be part of that celebration, just to be around people. It's been not a slow, I mean, it's been not a quick year. It's been a grueling 14-plus months with a lot of loss. And the impact on our school kids is immeasurable. I hope this is an important part of that healing. And for the residents of Mystic in this area here, and I will tell you, folks, these are the residents, these are the neighbors and friends who'll be getting sicker at higher rates than people like me, dying at higher rates than almost anyone else here. Let's not lose sight of that. And I'm excited for this project, but I take this now chance and have the honor of introducing my colleague in government here. He is the city councilor from Ward 4. He has been, and I'll underscore this with bold font, a passionate advocate to get this project going and others. The Ward 4 City Councilor, Mr. Jesse Klingon. Jesse.
Thank you, Mayor. It's so great to be here today. And thank you. I reiterate all of the thank yous that the Mayor covered everybody. So, and we all know who we are. All of us who have worked so hard, especially the PTA, the Friends of Healey, all the parents. I'm just so excited to be here. You know, the first time I ever heard it described as a prison yard, I think it was Andre Green. I think he was the first one to say that, you know, this resembled a prison yard. And I said, you know something? You're right, and it's horrible. And we need to do something about it. And then as soon as that happened, right around that same time, I heard from parents, Friends of Healey and PTA parents, and they're like, what are you doing about the Healey? I'm like, let's get a new schoolyard going. And we basically put the shoe leather to the pavement, and we were able to secure those funds. And, you know, again, like the mayor said, this is a project that I think we all understand the importance of, including all my colleagues, based on the location, just its proximity to housing. And, you know, one of the things I want to say on a personal level is that I grew up in Somerville, and, you know, we're only, technically, we touch Boston, but from downtown Boston, we're only like probably a mile and a half or so. But growing up here, you would think Boston was 1,000 miles away. And, you know, my mom, you know, she didn't want to going to Boston, and it was just like a whole ordeal. So One of the things I'm most excited about is with this new structure, this new play area, there's going to be a elevated mound where any child from this neighborhood can stand upon and see the city of Boston and just how close it is. And I think that type of thing and that type of thinking, that type of forward thinking, that type of creative parks are what Somerville's known for and what we're all so proud of. And I think that there's a huge importance to that. You know, like the mayor said, there's going to be features for just about everybody. You'll be able to walk the track if you want to get exercise. But most importantly, what it does is it connects Winter Hill to Mystic View to the boathouse, and hopefully creates a safer path for people of all abilities. You know, we're going to have an ADA ramp that's going to finally connect down, a proper one that connects this schoolyard, this play area to the Mystic View. So these are all extremely important pieces for me. Just from, you know, growing up, I played basketball in here, and you know, it's such a wasted opportunity, and I think we've taken full advantage of that thanks to the mayor's support, and thanks to all the parents' support. I really look forward to breaking ground on this project, and you know, it's going to be beautiful. It's very much needed, and I'm proud to be part of it. I want to thank you all. And with that, I have the pleasure and the honor of bringing up somebody who not only was as staunch of a supporter and an advocate for this project. He's also not only is he the school committee chair and the school committee representative for this ward, he's a parent of a child at Healey, and he's a friend, and he's also somebody who has been advocating for this area for longer than I have. He's been in office. Mr. Andre Green, come on up and say a few words.
Thank you, Councilor Klingon. I actually want to point out that's not actually true. You and I, my first term on the school committee, when you were not on the city council, were active in getting the Winter Hill playground done. And one of the things that would come up from when there were some parents who were upset about the Winter Hill playground was, well, if getting more fuel is so important, why don't you get one over by where you live? And we were like, we would love to have one by where we live. And next spring or next year when it opens, we'll finally have one. So, 6 years in the making. And so I want to thank you for advocating, even before it was your job, for the residents of all of Ward 4 and all of Somerville. And to the mayor, I want to point out that it's probably a good thing you're retiring, because I don't know what we're talking about now that we're not talking about when are we going to get Healey done. I'm sure. But I think I'm thrilled. I remember 6 years ago when I was first running for school committee, talking to several of the people in the audience now, and the first question they asked is, what are you going to do with the Healey? And I was like, you're right, we need a new schoolyard. And I said at the time I didn't want to leave before it happened, and I guess I kept that promise. So we're going to do this thing, and it's important, as Councilor Clan said, not just for the Healey, although for me that'd be enough. As Councilor pointed out, I have a daughter who's currently in first grade in this building right now and doesn't know I'm here. But is super excited about this, having been here for 3 years now and already being like, there's really not much to do in the yard. I'm like, I know, kid, I'm working on it. So I've kept that promise to my biggest campaign supporter, but also just to the neighborhood as a whole. I think it's important to all of, the community of the Mystics, the community of Winter Hill, to really have what this will be, which is a showcase public space that will be the envy of, or is already the envy of parts of Somerville, but will frankly be the envy of good chunks of greater Boston, as we have really a flagship project. And, I'm not going to take credit for it because it was so many parents for, currently, certainly the ones currently, but for years, right? Like, I came on board to hearing stories about, like, yeah, they've been saying we get a new Healey playground since I was a kid from high school graduates. So this has been a long time coming, and I'm thrilled, and I cannot wait to show my daughter Beacon Hill from the Healey and be able to say, yeah, that belongs to you, as it all of this. So thank you so much. And Now it's my honor to pass it on to representing the people who actually do the work that makes Somerville Public Schools great, Chief of Staff to the Superintendent, Jeff Curley.
Thank you, Chair Green. Thank you, everyone. As Andre said, my name is Jeff Curley. I'm here on behalf of Somerville Public Schools, and I couldn't be more excited about this project. This is an exciting day not just for our school here, the Healey School, but for our Mystic housing community, for the whole city of Somerville. It's been long in the works and the result of an incredible amount of advocacy from everyone here around this tent and in the schoolyard already, but also from our educators, from our students, from many of our elected officials. It's an exciting partnership between the school district, the City of Somerville, and Somerville Housing Authority. It's one that we're just can't wait to break ground on and get going. It's going to mean so much for the community. As has been discussed, we're going to have a beautiful new schoolyard here, a U12 soccer field, and an incredibly helpful ADA accessible path into the housing community below where many of our students come from. On behalf of the school district, I just want to reiterate thanks for Mayor Curtatone, for Alderman Klingon, for School Committee Chair Andre Green, for our elected officials who aren't yet here today, for our state delegation, Christine Barber, for that Somerville Housing Authority. This is a group that really embodies the team spirit and the spirit of Somerville to make such an ambitious project happen for our kids and for our community. So I appreciate the chance to be here. I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the folks that are going to help us move this work forward, as has been said. Arn Franzen, Louisa Oliveira, Principal Dr. Cobbs, and my esteemed colleague, who I will now get to introduce, Assistant Principal Les Larte. These are the folks that are going to make this really, really come to work. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Curley. So as an administrator here for the first year, it's amazing that we can get so much done in 1 year. And to have this break-in, that was a joke, everybody. We're extremely thankful. Dr. Cobbs is not here today, but I'm representing not just her, but all the professional educators in this building. We talked about PTA, Friends of Healey, and the students. To have this space is not just beneficial to us here at the Healey, it's beneficial to the whole city. Especially with what we've gone through the last year, the importance of outdoor activity and emotional well-being speaks for itself. So thank you all for this opportunity, and look forward to the conclusion of the project and the breaking and all the happy kids and healthy kids that will be out here afterwards. All right? Thank you all.
Hello, I'm Heather Highmark. I'm the Vice Chair of the Community Preservation Committee. The Community Preservation Committee leverages local funds with state funds to go towards open space and recreation, historic preservation, and affordable housing. So I have it's a wonderful opportunity to be able to fund an open space and recreation project here in Somerville. Parks are where childhood memories are made and motor skills are made, and new human beings, ethical human beings for the next generation are made. So it's really great to support that. On a personal note, I am a Ward 4 resident, and I have to say that we are a very dense city, but I think Ward 4 is even more dense. I think we have even less parks than perhaps other wards, and I don't know if that's a fact, but it feels that way. So I'm particularly happy to see better, more quality open space being built in this ward. I am also a parent of a graduate of the Healey, and he is now a junior at the high school, but when he was in 3rd grade, we were doing sketches and ideas of how can we make a better playground. And so it really does take a long time, and it really takes the support of the city and our counselors and funding to make all of these things come together. So now at this point, I'm happy to be a member of the CPC, because it wasn't until the CPC came along that we were able to get any momentum going on this project. So it's my pleasure to hand it off next to George Proakis, Department of Strategic Planning and Open Space.
Thank you all, and thank you for coming out today. I think the most significant thing I can say is that so many good points have already been said, and going last is always a bit of a challenge, but I appreciate that. Or maybe I guess the one major point I want to make is that that working in the Office of Strategic Planning and Community Development and working for Mayor Curtatone, I have the opportunity to work with what I feel unquestionably is the best parks and open space team in this state. And we do, Louisa and Arn, I've had a chance to be at so many groundbreakings and ribbon cuttings of events that have been done through what is now the PSUF team, and watched this team grow, and watched as our resources and our capacity have grown, and our ability to work in this community to deliver the things that Somerville really needs and deserves, like a park at the Healey School. And it's really exciting. This has been definitely, as the mayor said, a grueling 14 months, a very significantly difficult and challenging time for the city. And we've had a chance to work to continue to prioritize making sure that the most important things going on in our office, things like designing and delivering open spaces, are things we've been able to keep on track as much as we possibly can, and have the opportunity to make sure that here, coming out of this pandemic, we're able to deliver the start of another great open space project that will serve a school, that will serve a housing authority property, that will serve all of Ward 4 and all of the city with the type of open space that this community really needs and deserves. That's certainly been a long time coming, and certainly involved pulling a lot of people together. And I'm happy to be here as a part of celebrating it. And the ribbon cuttings are even more fun, so I can't wait. Now, Arn is signaling to me that there's probably somebody else, and I'm not the last person to go, but
One more thing before we
well, then will turn it back over to Arn and just say again, thank you all for being here. And in all of the respective roles you've all had to play to get us here, it's an exciting day, and look forward to seeing more. Thanks. Arn.
Thank you, George. Thank you, everybody, for your words. I just wanted to say again that this has been an incredible project. It's taken a lot of work to get where we are today. So if you've played a role in this project, or you know somebody who's played a role in this project, reach out to them and thank them. I want to thank everybody in advance, the larger community. This is a large project. I expect it'll be going on for many months. Clearly through next year. So we are going to expedite this project as much as possible. And I wanted to say that there has been all the work that's gone to getting us to this point, but we also have a great team going forward. So with the support of the city staff, many of whom are here today, we also have a great construction company doing the work here. That company is Classic Site Solutions, and everything that we've seen about this company and heard about this company has been very positive. So we're really happy to have them be a part of the project. And one of the critical pieces of this project, the thing that at this point now I'm starting to take for granted, is the phenomenal design of the project. This is just a remarkable design. It's a complex, it's detailed, it's thoughtful, and it's just the highest quality of landscape architecture and design that you'll see. As people have said, I expect that this is going to be a well-known regional project. It's going to transform this space and this community, and the design team has been the key to the success of the project, and that company is Warner Larson Landscape Architects. So I just wanted to call it a special thanks to David Warner and his team. So with that said, I think the next thing is to actually do a groundbreaking. It's an asphalt space, but we'll do our best. So thank you. I think let's just go out in the hot sun, all right? Bill's taking photos.
Aren't you going to be in it?
No, I think
We got to squeeze together, guys.
Yeah, well, I'm vaccinated.
I know, everybody.
I got my proof. Saving his spot.
Okay. We can touch each other now.
What are we looking at?
Look at me.
Okay, good. I haven't messed it up in 20 years, so we don't even have dirt to throw.
Get in there, dig. Get
Okay, someone's gonna count to 3 for these
There
gentlemen.
you go. 1, 2, 3.
Get on TikTok. Get on TikTok.